It often starts quietly. You might be sitting on your porch in the cool morning air, sipping your coffee, watching the neighborhood come to life. The mail truck passes by, the neighbor's dog barks, and you feel fine, maybe just a little more tired than usual. But then, the next time you carry the laundry upstairs, you notice you're out of breath. You laugh it off, thinking, I'm just getting older. But what if I told you that for many Americans over 70, those subtle changes, fatigue, shortness of breath, swelling in the ankles are not just signs of aging, but early warnings from the heart itself? And here's the tricky part. These signals are often so mild that most people ignore them until it's too late. That's why Longingekothe, truly listening to what your body is saying, might be the single most important habit for healthy aging and protecting your heart. I once met a woman named Margaret in Ohio, 75 years old, full of life and energy. She told me she began feeling a little heavy in her chest during her weekly grocery trips. It wasn't pain, just a subtle pressure when she pushed the cart up a slight incline in the parking lot. She assumed it was just the summer heat. Months later, during a routine checkup, her doctor found that one of her coronary arteries was more than 70% blocked. If I'd kept ignoring it, she said, I might not be here talking to you. The heart is an incredible machine, pumping about 2,000 gallons of blood every single day. But like any machine, when parts start to wear down, they send out early warning signs, quiet ones at first. For the heart health of elderly adults, these signs can be masked by other conditions like arthritis, diabetes, or even side effects from medications. That's why knowing what to look for and acting on it can mean the difference between a quick treatment and a life-threatening emergency. Some of the earliest red flags are physical sensations that seem unrelated to the heart at all. Take swelling in your feet and ankles, for example. In a country like the US, where standing for long hours or sitting too much is common, swelling might be brushed off as just circulation. But for seniors, persistent swelling can be a sign that the heart is struggling to pump efficiently, causing fluid to build up. Another often overlooked sign is waking up in the middle of the night short of breath, even when you weren't dreaming or exerting yourself. This can happen when lying flat causes fluid to shift toward the lungs, a subtle but serious symptom. Then there's fatigue. We're not talking about being tired after a busy day, but a deep, lingering exhaustion that doesn't improve with rest. For seniors, this can be a key signal that the heart isn't delivering enough oxygen-rich blood to the body's tissues. Margaret once told me she noticed she'd stopped singing along to her favorite oldies on the radio while driving. I didn't have the breath for it anymore, she said. Looking back, she realized it was one of her first warning signs. Now, I understand that as we age, it's tempting to chalk up these changes to just getting older. But here's the truth. From decades of doctor advice for seniors, aging itself doesn't cause swelling, shortness of breath, or sudden drops in stamina. These symptoms have a cause, and the sooner you find it, the better your chances of avoiding heart failure or a stroke. This is where daily habits for healthy aging come into play. One powerful habit is keeping a health journal. Each day, jot down simple observations. How much energy you had, any new aches or sensations, how far you could walk without stopping. Over weeks and months, patterns emerge that you might not notice day to day. This habit has saved countless seniors from serious complications because it gave their doctors a clear picture of what was changing over time. Technology can help too. Many Americans over 70 now use smartwatches or fitness trackers not just for counting steps, but for monitoring heart rate, oxygen saturation, and even detecting irregular heart rhythms. Devices like these can alert you to changes before you feel them. Imagine getting a notification that your heart rate is unusually high while you're just sitting and reading. That's a cue to check in with your doctor. Not a reason to panic, but it's the kind of early catch that can save a life. In a recent study published by the American Heart Association, seniors who consistently tracked their resting heart rate and blood pressure at home were 40% more likely to detect early heart problems than those who relied solely on annual checkups. This is senior wellness in action, combining awareness with modern tools to protect yourself. But let's be honest, noticing the signs is only half the battle. Acting on them is where many people hesitate. I've heard all the reasons. I don't want to bother my doctor. It's probably nothing. I'll wait and see. The problem is that heart issues don't always give you the luxury of time. Early evaluation can turn a looming crisis into a manageable condition. Think of your heart like your car's engine. If the oil light flickers on and you keep driving, hoping it will go away, you risk permanent damage. But if you pull over and address it, you save yourself a major repair, and maybe your life. That's why developing the habit of responding quickly to new or unexplained symptoms is one of the best longevity tips for anyone over 70. In the US, the cultural habit of toughing it out can be dangerous for seniors. In my talks with older adults across the country, from the bustling streets of New York to the quiet towns of Iowa, I've seen that those who live longest and healthiest share one trait. They treat their body's warnings like important news, not background noise. One man in Arizona told me that after decades as a firefighter, he thought he could handle any physical discomfort. But when he noticed he couldn't make it up his driveway without pausing to catch his breath, he called his doctor the next day. That decision led to a diagnosis of early-stage heart disease, caught in time to reverse with medication, diet, and natural remedies like improved nutrition and daily walking. So, here's the takeaway for part 1. Listening to your body is not overreacting, it's proactive care. Pay attention to changes in your stamina, breathing, swelling, and overall energy. Track them, talk about them, and get them checked. It's the cornerstone of a healthy lifestyle for seniors, and it's the first shield in protecting your heart for the decades ahead. Because in the journey of healthy aging, your heart's quiet whispers are often more important than its loud alarms. By hearing them early, you give yourself the best chance to keep living the life you love, whether that's gardening in your backyard, dancing at your granddaughter's wedding, or simply enjoying a peaceful morning coffee without worry. For many Americans over 70, the idea of going to the doctor when you feel fine seems unnecessary. Why spend a morning in a waiting room, have blood drawn, or get hooked up to wires for a test when you're not in pain? But here's a truth that surprises a lot of seniors. By the time heart disease causes obvious symptoms, it may already be advanced. I once met a man named Robert, a retired teacher in Florida who lived by the motto, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." For years, he skipped his annual physicals. He stayed active, played golf twice a week, and ate what he considered a decent diet. One afternoon, during a local charity event, a nurse offered free blood pressure checks. Robert's reading was 190 over 110, dangerously high. He didn't feel any different, but his numbers told a different story. That free check might have saved his life. This is why daily habits for healthy aging must include regular checkups. For the heart health of elderly adults, Preventive testing is not just about catching disease, it's about preventing it from ever becoming serious. Think of it like maintaining a classic car. Even if it runs smoothly, you still check the oil, change the filters, and make sure the brakes work. Skipping those steps might not cause immediate trouble, but over time, small issues build up into big ones. One of the most powerful tools for senior wellness is the routine heart health screening. These tests are straightforward, painless, and often covered by Medicare or low-cost community health programs. Let's break down what they are and why they matter without the complicated medical jargon. First, there's the blood pressure test. It takes less than a minute, but it's one of the best early warning systems for your heart. High blood pressure quietly damages blood vessels, making them stiff and narrow. Left unchecked, it's a major cause of heart attacks and strokes. The tricky thing? You can have dangerously high blood pressure and feel perfectly fine. That's why this check is so important. Then we have cholesterol testing. Your body needs some cholesterol to function, but too much, especially the LDL. Bad cholesterol clogs arteries, like grease in a drain. A simple blood test once a year can show if your diet or lifestyle is pushing you into the danger zone. Next, blood sugar tests like HbA1c tell you how your body handles glucose over time. Why does this matter for your heart? Because diabetes is like a silent partner to heart disease, often making damage worse and harder to reverse. In the US, nearly 1 in 4 people over 65 has diabetes, and many don't know it. Then there's the electrocardiogram, ECG, or EKG. This is the one where they put small sticky sensors on your chest, arms, and legs to check your heart's electrical activity. It can detect arrhythmias' irregular rhythms that might cause fatigue, dizziness, or even strokes if untreated. For some seniors, doctors might recommend an echocardiogram, an ultrasound of the heart that shows how well it pumps and whether valves are working properly. This test is painless and can reveal early signs of heart failure before symptoms appear. The beauty of these screenings is that they create a baseline. Over time, your doctor can see trends, whether your blood pressure is creeping up, your cholesterol is improving, or your heart rhythm is changing. It's like having a map of your heart's health journey, guiding you to make the right turns before you hit trouble. I remember visiting a community health fair at a church in Texas where seniors lined up for free screenings. The atmosphere was warm and social tables of homemade pies, coffee brewing in the corner, neighbors chatting. In one corner, volunteer nurses checked blood pressure and blood sugar. One woman, Gloria, discovered her blood pressure was high enough to require immediate treatment. "I came for the pie," she laughed, "but I left with a plan to save my heart." This sense of community can make preventive care less intimidating. Many YMCA locations, senior centers, and even grocery store pharmacies offer free or low-cost screenings. In some towns, mobile health vans travel to neighborhoods, bringing testing to your doorstep. This makes preventive care part of everyday life, not just something you do in a doctor's office. But let's talk about the barrier many people feel. Fear. Fear of bad news. Fear of what the doctor might say. I've spoken to countless seniors who put off appointments because they don't want to know. I understand it's human nature, but here's what I tell them. Finding out early means you have options. Waiting until symptoms force you to act often means your options are fewer, riskier, and more expensive. Doctor advice for seniors is clear. Schedule at least one full physical each year and see your provider sooner if anything changes in your health. Bring a written list of questions and any notes from your health journal. This not only helps you remember what to ask, but also shows your doctor you're actively engaged in your care. Technology has also made follow-up easier. Many US clinics now offer telehealth visits, where you can review test results and discuss concerns without leaving home. This is especially helpful for seniors with mobility challenges or those living in rural areas. And here's a longevity tip most people overlook. Share your health information with a trusted family member or friend. If you ever face a medical emergency, having someone who knows your baseline readings, medications, and history can make a huge difference in your treatment. By making regular screenings a habit, you turn healthcare from something reactive into something proactive. You stop waiting for the storm to hit and start reinforcing the roof while the sun is still shining. In the rhythm of wellness after 70, these checkups become part of your life's routine, like paying bills, tending your garden, or calling your grandchildren on Sundays. They're not interruptions. They're investments in your future. So, as you think about the years ahead, remember, your heart's health is not just about what you feel today, but about what you prevent tomorrow. Preventive testing is your insurance policy for more mornings on the porch, more rounds of golf, more laughter with friends. And that's a return worth the time it takes to sit in that waiting room. When you think about protecting your heart after 70, you might imagine expensive treatments, complicated medication schedules, or surgeries. But here's a comforting truth. Some of the most powerful tools for heart health for elderly Americans are already in your kitchen and your daily routine. What you eat and how you move can work together like a perfect duet, keeping your arteries clear, your blood pressure steady, and your energy flowing. Let me tell you about George and Linda, a couple in their early 70s living in Austin, Texas. 2 years ago, George's cholesterol numbers were creeping up, and his doctor warned that if they didn't make changes, medication would be the next step. Linda, ever the planner, dove into research on anti-aging foods and the Mediterranean diet. Within a year, George's numbers improved so much that his doctor said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." And the best part? They felt better, more energy, better sleep, and a shared sense of purpose. The Mediterranean diet is not a diet in the strict sense, it's a lifestyle. Imagine plates filled with colorful vegetables, fresh berries, leafy greens, beans, whole grains, olive oil, and fish like salmon or sardines. There's room for nuts, seeds, and even a bit of dark chocolate. The beauty of this eating style is that it's rich in fiber, antioxidants, and healthy fats, all of which support senior health by reducing inflammation and improving blood vessel flexibility. But healthy eating for wellness after 70 isn't about perfection, it's about patterns. If your typical week includes more fresh produce and fewer processed snacks, you're giving your heart a gift every day. The tricky part? Convenience foods are everywhere in America, from drive-through burgers to frozen dinners packed with sodium. High salt intake is a hidden enemy for older hearts, leading to water retention, higher blood pressure, and extra strain on your arteries. That's why reading labels becomes a survival skill. Look for canned goods labeled low sodium. Avoid frozen meals with more than 600 milligrams of salt, and season food with herbs and spices instead of salt. Another simple longevity tip is to swap unhealthy fats for healthy ones. Replace butter with olive oil, mayonnaise with avocado, and fried foods with baked or grilled options. These swaps may seem small, but over time they reduce LDL cholesterol and help prevent plaque buildup in your arteries. And let's talk about protein. As we age, maintaining muscle mass becomes essential for mobility and overall health. Lean proteins like chicken, turkey, fish, eggs, and plant-based sources like lentils and quinoa are all excellent choices for senior nutrition. They not only support muscle, but also keep you feeling full, helping with weight control, a crucial part of healthy aging. Now, food is only half the story. Movement is where you train your heart to be resilient. The idea of exercise can sound intimidating, but it doesn't have to mean sweaty gym sessions or heavy weights. For over 70 Fitness, the goal is consistency, not intensity. Even a brisk 20-minute walk daily can lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol, and boost your mood. I know a woman named Evelyn, 74, who starts her mornings with Tai Chi in her backyard. She says it's her moving meditation, a way to wake up her body, breathe deeply, and keep her balance strong. Tai Chi, yoga, and gentle stretching improve flexibility and circulation while reducing the risk of falls. For those who enjoy water, swimming or water aerobics can be a game changer. The buoyancy supports your joints, while the resistance strengthens muscles and the heart. Many YMCAs and community pools in the US offer senior-focused classes where the social aspect is just as valuable as the physical. If staying home is more your style, exercises for seniors at home can be incredibly effective. Chair exercises, light resistance bands, and even marching in place during television commercials all count. The key is to avoid long periods of sitting. Research shows that breaking up sitting time with just 2 minutes of movement every half hour can improve blood sugar control and circulation. One natural remedy for keeping your heart strong is to treat movement as medicine. Think of every walk, dance, or stretch as a dose of heart protection. Combine that with the medicine on your plate, whole foods, healthy fats, fresh produce, and you create a double layer of defense. Doctor advice for seniors often emphasizes this synergy. What you eat fuels your body, and how you move strengthens it. Both are necessary. If you only focus on one, the benefits are limited. But when you marry the two, the results are powerful: lower blood pressure, healthier arteries, more energy, and a greater ability to enjoy the life you've built. And let's not forget the joy factor. Eating well and moving more shouldn't feel like punishment. In fact, it works better when it's enjoyable. Cook with friends, try new recipes from different cultures, garden for your vegetables, or join a dance class at the senior center. Joy itself is a heart tonic. George and Linda now spend Saturday mornings at the local farmers market, picking out vegetables and chatting with neighbors. Sundays are for long walks along Lady Bird Lake. These habits aren't chores, they're rituals that make their lives richer and their hearts healthier. If there's one takeaway for healthy lifestyle for seniors, it's this: small, consistent choices are more powerful than occasional big efforts. Your heart doesn't need perfection, it needs care. Every day, from your fork to your feet. If diet and movement are the fuel and training for your heart, then your mind, your sleep, and your relationships are the quiet mechanics that keep everything running smoothly. You can eat the best anti-aging foods, take all the right supplements, and stick to your over 70 fitness routine. But if you're constantly stressed, sleeping poorly, and feeling isolated, your heart still suffers. Let's start with stress. It's often called the silent killer because you can't measure it with a blood pressure cuff or see it on an X-ray, yet it impacts every system in the body. When you're stressed, your body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline designed for quick bursts of energy in emergencies. But when those hormones stay high for too long, they raise blood pressure, tighten arteries, and make your heart work harder. I once met Nancy, 72, at a senior wellness workshop in Oregon. She had no major medical issues, but she felt tired all the time and had trouble focusing. As we talked, she realized she was still carrying the stress of caring for her husband during his long illness, even though he had passed away 2 years earlier. She had never given herself permission to grieve or rest. Her blood pressure had crept up without her noticing. Learning simple breathing techniques, practicing gentle yoga, and joining a grief support group made a profound difference in both her mood and her numbers. For healthy aging, managing stress doesn't mean avoiding all challenges, it means building resilience. Practices like meditation, prayer, gardening, or even spending time in nature are not luxuries. They are tools for survival. In the US, many community centers and libraries now offer free or low-cost mindfulness classes specifically designed for seniors. Just 10 minutes of mindful breathing each day can lower heart rate and improve emotional balance. Now, let's talk about sleep. How to sleep better after 70 is a question I hear often because sleep patterns change as we age. Some seniors fall asleep earlier and wake earlier. Others struggle with insomnia or restless nights. The problem is, poor sleep is not just an inconvenience, it's a heart health risk. While you sleep, your blood pressure naturally drops, your heart rate slows, and your body repairs itself. Without enough restorative sleep, your heart doesn't get that nightly rest. If you're aiming for wellness after 70, think of your bedroom as a sanctuary. Keep it cool, dark, and quiet. Turn off screens an hour before bed. The blue light from phones and TVs can trick your brain into staying awake. Try a consistent bedtime routine. Maybe herbal tea, a warm shower, light stretching, and reading something uplifting. If pain, frequent urination, or sleep apnea is interfering, that's where doctor advice for seniors comes in. These are treatable issues, and fixing them can restore healthy sleep. One tip many seniors find helpful is limiting caffeine after noon and alcohol in the evening. While a glass of wine may seem relaxing, alcohol can disrupt the deeper stages of sleep that your heart and brain need. If you wake often at night, try a small, protein-rich snack before bed to keep blood sugar stable. And finally, the third pillar, connection. Humans are social beings, and loneliness is more than an emotional ache, it's a physical strain. Studies in the US have shown that chronic loneliness can raise the risk of heart disease as much as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. This is why daily habits for healthy aging must include staying connected. For many Americans in their 70s, the circle of friends naturally shrinks, people move away, health changes, limit travel, or loved ones pass on. But connection doesn't have to mean a large group. It's about meaningful interactions. A weekly phone call with a friend, attending a church group, joining a senior exercise class, or volunteering at a local food pantry, all these feed the heart in ways no pill can. I think of Frank, a widower in Ohio who joined a community woodworking club. Twice a week, he and other retirees gather to make toys for children in need. He says the laughter, the shared coffee breaks, and the sense of purpose have kept him more alive than any medication ever could. This is where natural remedies for the heart extend beyond food and herbs. They include joy, purpose, and belonging. Whether it's sharing a meal, playing cards, or walking your neighbor's dog, these moments release feel-good chemicals that lower blood pressure and improve immune function. When you combine these three: stress management, quality sleep, and connection, you create a powerful shield around your heart. You handle challenges with more grace. Your body repairs itself each night, and your days are filled with human warmth. And that brings us to the heart of our message. Healthy lifestyle for seniors is not just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. Protecting your heart means protecting your memories, your independence, and the ability to keep showing up for the people and moments that matter most. So tonight, as you turn off the lights, breathe deeply. Let the day's worries settle. Tomorrow, reach out to someone you care about, even if it's just a quick hello, and keep building a life that feeds both your heart and your spirit. Because when your heart is strong, not just physically but emotionally, you're not just surviving after 70, you're thriving. And if this video has inspired you, I invite you to join our community of seniors who believe in living fully. Click like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who might need a reminder that their best heart years can still be ahead. Together, we'll keep the beat strong.